Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Hash It Out Show. I'm your host, JB, your sports guy. I am joined by my co-host, my good friend. You can catch him on CrescentCitySports.com, the one, the only, VK Jones. VK, how you doing, my man?
I'm good. How you doing, Jared? It's good to be here. Like, share, tag, subscribe to the Hash It Out Show, to JB Sports Guy on YouTube or Vashawn Jones, or subscribe to both, and also follow us on Facebook as well. So we appreciate everybody joining us on the show. We got a good one tonight. We are still saluting the champions right here, and this is the North Shore slash Tangible Whole Parish edition of the show. And we got a special guest that's going to kick it off. Go ahead, Jared.
Yes, we got a special guest we're going to kick it off with. But first, later on the show, we will have the head coach of the Ponchatoula Boys, Division I non-select state championship team, Coach Tom Taylor, joining us. But right now, this special guest, she's full of first. She's the head coach of the Southeastern Lady Lions women's basketball team. They won their first ever conference championship and went to the NCAA tournament for the first time. We have the head coach, Coach Ayla Guzzardo. Coach, how you doing today?
I'm doing very good. Still in our high a little bit from that championship run. But after watching Iowa last night, it kind of brought me back down to earth.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Coach, going into the conference tournament, you were the number one seed. You played Lamar in the championship game. Lamar's a great team. You guys came out with the victory 66-57. Talk about the victory in the conference championship game.
Yeah, that was big. A lot of people didn't realize, we won. We were ranked higher, but we were down most of that game. We were also playing without our first team all conference player, Alexius Horn. She got hurt with a knee injury the game prior. So we were down at least 15 points of firepower on the offensive end. My point guard got in foul trouble in the first half. 2 fouls, put her on the bench quick. And her being a freshman, I could have played her a little bit more, could have went to her, but I knew if we could hold on until halftime, we were going to be all right. But we fought. And look, I love it because that is our team. How that game played out, that's how we are. We fight. We're blue-collared players. We don't want anything easy. We've never been given anything easy. So, there's no doubt that was how the game was going to play out. But, it was a great game, great atmosphere. Crowd was good, and we won. So, it was even better.
Now, before you go further, Jared, I'm going to ask you this, Coach, right quick. Now, the semifinals against Texas A&M Commerce, I was in the building that morning, and I met with Debbie Antonelli and everything, and it was good. The game was really close, and I had to leave in the last couple seconds when Texas A&M Commerce had the ball, because I had to go set up because I was calling top 28 out there at Burton down the road. So I had to go. Miss Debbie was like, "You sure you?" I gotta go because I gotta go set up. I don't want to be late. So I had to leave. I look at my phone and I see y'all came up with the win, and it was like, not in overtime. Like,
yeah, you should have never left.
Coach, tell them what happened in the last 5 seconds, because I'm thinking in the back of my mind, you must have got the steal because Texas A&M had the ball with at least 5.7.
We got the steal. Jen Pierre just look, and I sat on the sideline thinking, we need a steal. Sure enough, that little thing came up with the steal. We got the ball. I drew a play up for Haley. She brought us into overtime. It was perfect. They executed it right. Everything fell into place. They were confident. It was fun. You should have never left.
Why you left, VK? Why?
Well, I didn't want to get in any trouble because I was late, and on top of that, we had at least almost 10 more minutes before tip off. So me calling play-by-play, I had to make sure rosters, pronunciations correct and everything before we got on air. So it was.
Don't worry, we made sure everybody got their money's worth of that ticket.
Oh, I know they did. I know y'all did. But it looked like it was a really great game. Y'all fought through everything to try to win that ball game. I had a smile on my face. In the back of my head, I was like, I think I shouldn't even left. It turned out to be really good.
Oh yeah, no, it was fun. Look, coaching those games, it was stressful. It was tough. It was fun. That's what you want to coach, and that's the people that you want to coach. So those 2 games that we had to win, they were tough. They were tough, but they were worth it.
Coach, first time winning the Southland Conference championship. At the same time, it was Southeastern's first NCAA tournament berth. Talk about knowing you're going to the tournament, and then when they announced you guys on national TV to play Iowa.
I don't think it really hit us until we saw our name up on that screen. We knew we won. We knew we were going to the NCAA tournament, but it was like, it was real when you saw your name pop up. And then I'm going to be honest, we thought we were going to be a play-in game. We thought we were going to be one of the first 4 games just because we're Southland. We always get a 16 seed. So it's just, we knew it was destined for us to be a play-in game, or, we were going to be playing South Carolina. And then when the South Carolina came up, we were on there. We were like, are we a 15 seed? And then we started watching a little bit more, more 16 seeds came out. I'm like, oh my gosh, we're gonna be a 15 seed. And then we pulled Iowa, and I'm like, oh my gosh, so excited. You're excited because your name's on there, and you're a 15 seed. And then you're like, oh my God, how are we gonna guard Caitlin Clark? All right. We can enjoy this tonight, and we'll get to work tomorrow. But yeah, no, it was fun, just being able to experience all that. I've gotten to experience it before as a coach in another university, but it was great seeing a first for all of my players, my coaches who've been working for that. Those are types of memories that you bring with you forever. You get to talk about it with your kids, your teams coming up these next few years. We talk about what it's like winning a championship and just the expectations, and it's finally there because, like you said, it was a year of first. So we got all our nerves out the way. Last year prior, we were just in the championship game. We knew what it was like. We didn't win it. We needed that experience. Now we've been to the NCAA tournament. We're ready. We're prepared. We've been on our charter flight. We did the oohs and the ahs, and now we're like, all right, now we got to win some games.
You messed up against Iowa, like we just said. Caitlin Clark, and this team is full of jump shooters. It didn't go your way, but like you said, you gained experience by being in the tournament. Talk about the matchup with Iowa. What did you learn from your players in that first round game?
I learned that we weren't intimidated. There was a little, the bright lights. We were playing in front of 15,000 people on ESPN. You're gonna get those butterflies, those nerves, but we weren't scared at all. We weren't intimidated by the team that we were playing. We were just, I'm gonna be honest, they're a great team. They're in the Final Four for a reason. What they've got inside and out, matchup wise, we knew it was gonna be tough for us. Felt we had a good game plan. Body wise, though, we got in some foul trouble. One of our players got disqualified for 2 technical bad calls, but it was just overall, it was that good experience that we needed. But we, being a 15 seed, hopefully we can get a good non-conference schedule, good record, and then get that 14 seed, get a 13 seed. Now we're playing more, equal teams instead of, coming out and playing Iowa. Because after playing Iowa, I feel like they should have been a number 1 seed. They're killing people.
3 years ago, Southeastern was set to go to the NCAA tournament. COVID happened. How gratifying was it to go this year? And also talk about how sad it was that you wasn't able to go due to COVID 3 years ago.
When you get this job, nobody can tell you how to navigate through everything. That was probably the hardest thing I've ever had to do, was getting on that court. We warmed up. We knew COVID was around. I had just heard that they just canceled the SEC tournament, and I had a feeling they were going to do it to us. I just wanted the game to tip off because it was the first time we'd been there in years, and we've been working just to get to the tournament. And I saw them talking in the corner, and I'm watching my team warm up, and they're so excited. And then they call us back into our huddles, and I was like, oh no, this is it. And then you don't know what to say because you're upset, you're disappointed for you, your staff, how much you worked, and then you're looking at the players, and I'm watching my seniors I had a group of 5 of them that year, and watching their faces and be like, this is how we're going out. And I'm like, so we bring that up a lot. You never know when your last game is going to be. It could be an injury. It could be something catastrophic that happens. It could be COVID again. You never know. So we talk about a lot. Just play it like it's your last game. You never know when your last game is going to be. So give everything you got into it. But, being able to finally get that game, get those wins, and get here, and we play for our past. We play for the alumni that's been there before us because they've helped pave the way. We would not be here if it wasn't for teams prior to us now.
Before passing on to VK, this was the first 20-win season at Southeastern also. And since you became the head coach, the winning percentage has increased every year. What is it about your coaching style that gets your players to play at their best?
It's who we bring around each other. I be honest with you, I'm not that coach who said, I did this, I did that. It ain't me. I'm a little piece to the puzzle, but my staff is phenomenal, like phenomenal. And, every year around this time, I get nervous because I'm like, God, I want to keep them all here. And I know I can't keep them forever, but when we're here, we know we're going to work. And then the players that I put around them, everybody plays so well off of each other. The way we coach and we're very transparent. I told a recruit this past week, they asked me my recruiting style. I said, I don't know. We're transparent. What you see is what you get. We're tough. We're hard-nosed. We're blue-collar coaches. That's who we have as players. So what you see in us is what you see in our team. We talk a little trash. It is what it is. We have fun on the sidelines. But literally our players are a reflection of our coaching staff. They are us, we are them, all in the same. And that's why we're successful with each other.
Coach, I got to tell you, you're doing some real great work. A lot of people told me about you and everything, and then finally meeting you in person at the women's top 28 and everything. And it seemed like, looking at your background and everything, you really put in some work at this program and everything else. I wanted to ask you this. How do you feel more than anything else that your team, and looking at some great past players, including Robin Roberts, they didn't make postseason. You guys did. How you feel about that? I know there was great players that paved the way at Southeastern, but you're the team that comes through and gets the postseason.
This team is special, and people don't realize that this team, we had every single player putting in extra work in the gym by themselves. It was get to the point where the reason that Alexis Horn was first team all conference is because I watched her one day get in the gym 3 times on her own, just on her own outside of practice. She came in for a morning workout. We had practice right after. She came in and watched film, and then she came in and got shots later on. Watched her. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, she can't get enough. And she wanted it so bad. And then that starts becoming contagious. She brought Haley in. Haley brought Jen in. Jen brought Cece in. It was just contagious of every single person putting in the work. I've never had a team like that. I've never had a team that our practices have become harder than our games. We are so competitive in practice versus each other that our practices are so competitive. And it gets to the point where I'm like, beat up on somebody else. Like, we go so hard on each other. Do that to somebody else. But they don't like to lose. They hate losing. We've had to extend practice because they're like, run it back. I ain't done with that game. Run it back. I'm like, oh Lord, my time. But that's different. And you don't find that often. But the type of players that we've got, the type of players that we're recruiting, that's who they are. And it took us a while to get there. It took us some people like Haley Giarratano, Alexis Horn, Dejan Harvey, believing in our vision to change our culture, because really that group came in and really helped change the culture. And once we did that, we hit the ground running.
And have you got any context from Robin Roberts herself? Context or mentions or something. I know she takes pride in Southeast Louisiana.
I did. She reached out after the championship game. I know she gave a great quote to Debbie during our championship run, and then reached out after, just saying how proud she was, her alma mater. We actually saw her 2 years ago when Hurricane Ida hit. She came down, did Good Morning America show, came to the locker room, signed our alumni wall. So little stuff like that, it means a lot. It goes a long way. We just want to continue to make all of our alumni, especially somebody on Good Morning America, proud.
Very, very, very good right there. That's really great. She has overcome a lot in her life to be
Mm-hmm.
where she is right now. It's amazing. Um, Wanted to ask you about Jen Pierre. How much of a spark plug she has been for you? Because I covered her a year ago at a meet. And when I heard how good she was, and Ken Trahan, if you know him very well, he told me about her, and we covered her in the Sugar Bowl championship. And I was like, man, this girl is good. This
Mm-hmm.
girl is really good. And I'm like, she's going to Southeastern. And then hearing she's already in there handling business already. So how do you feel about her being that spark plug, really helping your team get it going, besides all the other seniors and leaders that really stepped up for you this season?
She's fun to coach. I really, really, really enjoyed her this year, mainly because I got to see her growth. Um, when she came in, her speed was, you can't match it. Nobody has been as quick as she has. We haven't seen nobody on Iowa is as quick as them, as quick as Jen. Her speed is unreal, but watching her growth during the game, learning the offense, learning how to defend, just learning angles and plays and who to get the ball to and how the pass should come, watching that has been unreal. And then when I met her, she was very quiet. She plays, but she's a very quiet player. She's not loud, she's not talking, she's not screaming, hollering at everybody. She's loud now. She opens her mouth, she calls the plays, she'll tell somebody where to get. And watching her come as a very quiet freshman, she's trying to find her way into how she's evolved as a starter, all defensive team. Really, she should have been freshman of the year contender. It's been unreal. She's developing that mid-range jump shot. Well, she's developed it because she can hit that consistently now. But she's developing a little bit more range from the outside. But she's getting to the rim. She's finished. She's tough. She's just fun to coach, and ultimately for a fan, she's fun to watch. She's one of the fans' favorite players most of the time because she's as tall as my fans that are coming around. So she's 5'3". On a good day, she's probably 5'2", soaking wet, maybe 100 pounds, but spark plug. You said it, spark plug, and she gives you that spark. She used to come off the bench for us, but now we've got her, starting that game off, and she's hit the ground running.
And it seems like at first, the quietness, I think it came from her humbleness and Amy herself, especially her mom being the coach and everything. Now I think coming to you, she gets a little more freer, and it's like confidence a little more, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna talk a little bit, what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do little by little. But it's amazing what her mom has done at a meet. And she's got a whole bunch of talent over there. But I tell you, I think Jen Pierre is definitely the future for Southeastern. I see a lot of great years for your team, especially with her now going to really step up in the leadership role after
Mm-hmm.
what she did this year.
Oh, hands down. We've got a lot of good players from a lot of local high schools. Especially from the surrounding areas. Those types of players are something different because Jen's mom, Coach Pierre, she can coach. Jen's not just a great player just because of her God-given ability. She knows the game. She lives the game. She stays in the gym. Christmas break, I guarantee you, most of my players are home taking a breather. Jen's in a gym somewhere. She's in a gym. So we've got great people around them that are helping push them. But yeah, Jen's future. And she set a high standard for the people coming in after her.
How you feel about the connection with Southeastern, with all these tangible hold parish schools, especially the year they had this year, making it to the top 28, didn't take home titles, but making it there.
Mm-hmm.
Like you look at Amite, Ponchatoula, you look at Albany having the year that they had, but even the Southeast Louisiana team, but tangible whole indeed. What you think about the connection you're starting to have with them? Because I tell you, a lot of those teams, especially Amite, they're gonna be back ready to bear next year with that team that Coach Pierre got over
You're
there.
right. You're right. Well, if you look when I got this job, my biggest thing was to bring our community back together with a lot of these local high schools. I played at St. Thomas, was born and raised here. I feel like you can win with especially Louisiana kids, but I bring it closer. Tangipahoa Parish, Livingston Parish. I think you can win with them. It just is what it is. And you said 3 teams. I look at Albany. I got Natalie Kelly on my team from Albany. Ponchatoula, I got Haley Geritano. Amine, I got Jen Pierre. I want to keep that connection because I'm going to be honest, those are all great coaches. Stacy at Albany's doing a phenomenal job. Trish has got a powerhouse at Ponchatoula. And then, Pierre is just always having those great players, those great teams. We keep those connections. We keep those doors open. It's a revolving door of good, solid talent staying home.
Absolutely. And that's unbelievable there. What do you think about, and I noticed a change this year when I came to Southeastern. I had a niece years and years ago that was an assistant coach. I see a big change. I see Hammond America on the floor. I want to know about the little change and everything. What's kind of the moniker this year at Southeastern?
So when our athletic director was the head baseball coach here a few years ago, I won't say many years ago, but a few years ago, he looks at Hammond as we're our own. We've got there's surrounding areas, but literally Hammond America is like its own state, its own country. We support each other so much, and we are so invested in just each other that it's not Hammond and Southeastern and Hammond High. It's literally everybody. The community is behind each other 110%. So we're literally our own country over here. It's us against the world.
How the crowds were this season?
Ooh, so much better. So much better. When you're winning, they're going to show up. And then we've got a lot of local kids that help put people in the seats. We were averaging a good amount this year. We've got some great home games, on the road. People traveled. That was the best part. They traveled with us. I know you saw the conference tournament. We had a great crowd. Great crowd. And we were, 2.5 hours away? It's not bad. So crowd was good. Support was great.
Let's talk a little bit about the NCAA tournament a bit. I know you had some very good experience with Iowa and everything else. Let's talk a little bit about a couple of your opponents. One of them, LSU, the team that's now in the Final Four. Give us your thoughts about their progress this year, especially under Kim Mulkey, and for y'all guys giving them the game of their life earlier in the season. Because I went to the LSU Tulane game, and I looked at the schedule, and I was like, Southeastern only lost by 8. Everybody else is like they didn't play anybody, and Tulane gave them hell as well. Tell us about that night, and give us a breakdown of it. Especially, did you think that game really catapult y'all guys to the season?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Me and Kim might disagree, but I think our game against them helped them get to the Final Four. I think we woke them up. No, I mean, it helped our program and it helped their program. With us, we lost to the number, I think at that time they were maybe the number 5 team in the country by 8. It gave us that confidence, and we didn't even have a post player at that game. Natalie Kelly wasn't playing. She was still out with a hand injury. So we were playing with a 5, what is she, about 5'11", 5'10" guard at the post. And we competed. We competed with them. Now, we also woke them up too because they realized that we were out for more than just a butt whooping. We weren't coming to get our butt. There was no way they were going to score 100 points on us. No way. And she knew that, with that game, how they're playing now, they're playing with so much confidence. And, everybody said, oh, I bet you want LSU to lose, huh? I said, no, I want them to win the whole thing. We support each other no matter what. When we're playing each other, it's a game. We know that. But I'll tell you what, playing at LSU this year, we didn't feel like the LSU crowd was against us. I felt like, they were just happy that it was a good game. It was 2 Louisiana schools playing with each other. They probably want LSU to win at the end, but they were just happy it was a good game. And we got a lot of fan support after the game. We got a lot of applause. Just so much good publicity from that game. And, I think Kim's doing a phenomenal job at LSU. What she did in the short amount of time that she's been there, has been unreal. But she's a Hall of Fame coach, and she's doing it because that's what she does. She takes a program, and everything she does, she wins. And that's a young college coach looking up to someone like that. You have nothing but respect for someone like that.
And it's
VK, let me jump in right quick, VK.
go ahead. Jump in. Go ahead.
It's amazing how she speaks about Kim Mulkey. And I was kind of shocked when I saw Kim Mulkey tweeted congratulations to the Southeastern women's basketball team for making the tournament. So that shows the type of unity that Kim Mulkey has with Coach Guzzardo. I was very shocked. I didn't expect to see that, but I am happy that I saw that.
And
Also,
I'm kind of not surprised with that. I'm kind of not surprised either. You're surprised, but I'm not surprised because hearing a lot of her press conferences, she is about Louisiana.
Oh yeah.
There was a reason. There's a reason why she came back home.
And look, she's great. And like you said, she'll reach out. I mean, I texted her the other day. Congratulations. She texted me after the championship game. She is going to support her own. And right now we're not playing each other, so she's gonna support the hell out of us. It's same. It's mutual. It could be Southern. We're gonna support Southern. Anybody in our area. People ask us why Louisiana. It's just something about us. We love each other. We're gonna compete. Yeah, we're gonna fight. But at the end of the day, we genuinely want each other to do well. That's what makes us different than a lot of people.
And also, what are your thoughts on the impact on Louisiana? Not just with LSU. Southern basically pulled probably one of the biggest upsets in SWAC history because I got it. Some people in SWAC might be like, it's kind of a little bit on the blasphemy. I say, no, you have to think if Jackson State wins, they could get a 15 or 14 seed looking at their victories during the year. For Southern pulling that off and winning the tournament and them going there, that's amazing. But what do you think about the state of women's basketball in Louisiana? Because it seemed like Southern is getting there. You guys, LSU, Tulane. What are your thoughts?
We're only getting better. Growing up, Louisiana I was watching Simone Augustus play, and yes. It was LSU, and it was LSU. It just is what it is. You didn't hear much about Southeastern. Tulane popped in every once in a while. Monroe really wasn't around. ULL wasn't around. Tech. You just heard of LSU. Now you're seeing the support for Coach Funchess and Southern. You're seeing that love that everybody's pouring into us. Tulane's competing. Louisiana Tech's up there. Sunbelt's tough. The Conference USA tough. Every conference is tough, but Louisiana schools are competing against everybody, and they're putting our name on the map. And I love it because I'm going to support our own through and through. But Louisiana basketball is getting better by the day. And, we got the number one player in the state right now. Michaela Williams is number one for a reason. That kid could play.
Yeah. You got Michaela Williams, number one. Paris Guillory, number two. And number three, Jada Richard. I've never seen. I covered few times in women's basketball in girls' high school. I cover most of the boys, but this season, and I had to cover a couple of them, and I'm like, I know there's some years, and this reminded me of years back in the 90s with Simone Augustus, with a Chandra Johnson, with a Jamie Thamatis, all these great talent, and it seems like this is a big year. It's been a long time since we had some impact women's high school players, girls high school players in a long time. So this year's been very much premier. I'm gonna ask you this one more thing, and I'm gonna let Jared finish it off. What do you think on LSU's chances of winning it all? Because Coach Mulkey, and I was hearing some press conference yesterday, made a little premonition that it ain't nothing wrong with seeing two SEC teams making the Final Four and two might make the championship. And she spoke about South Carolina getting it, and they did win tonight. So what is LSU chances of not just getting to the title game, but pulling off the shocker in South Carolina's waiting?
So I would love to see two SEC schools. I'm watching the Virginia Tech Ohio State game now. Virginia Tech's up, by the way, 22-19. If Virginia Tech wins, I think LSU can get to that championship game. Ohio State's going to give them a little run for the money, but look, LSU's playing with so much confidence right now, and that's something you can't take away. You can't game plan for nothing. They've got confidence, and they got some swag about them. They're playing with a little bit of dog in them. People don't have that. I'd love to see them in South Carolina. I'd love to see them in Iowa. I'd love to see just them being there no matter what. Because at the end of the day, we're gonna support our own. I'm a Lion for right now, but that championship game, I'm gonna be wearing some type of gold somewhere, some purple.
I heard that.
Oh, good. Coach, we'll get you out of here on this last question. I want to know about Ayla Guzzardo, the player that played at Shelton State Community College and then at Akron. I want to know about her a little bit. Thank you, sir. Akron. I'm sorry. Sorry. Akron.
I'm saying that because LeBron James would have came and slapped you right now. Because that's what he's
I would have called Michael Jordan, but go ahead.
I'm gonna be honest. What you see in Jen Pierre, I was not nearly as fast, but that was my game. I was a little more vocal. I had a little more stuff about me than Jen right now. But I played tough. I got 1,000 points in high school, and I couldn't shoot. It is just I couldn't shoot, so it was off of steals and layups. I'm gonna fight for everything. That's all I've been doing my whole life. I'm little. I'm about 5'3". I was a little stocky point guard, but I ran the show. I command it, and I'm tough on my point guards now. And then they all know why, just because I expect so much out of them. If the play goes wrong, it's a point guard's fault. It's your fault. If they didn't know the play, it's your fault for them not knowing the play. But that's how I was as a player. I had to make sure everything was perfect. And as a coach, I'm seeing that same type of, it's just a revolving door. I'm the same way, but that's who I was. Anything in front of me, I just wanted to take it. I wanted to take it. Anything, we won. We beat Michigan on our home floor when I was at Akron. Great. I loved it. I was like, who's next? Who's next? I was hungry. I wanted it. And that's the same now. We got this championship game, and I'm like, season's a few more months. What am I going to do for now? I'm like, we got to do something. But that's how I am as a player. That's how I am as a person. That's how I am as a mom. I'm tough on my kids. It just is what it is. I can't stop it. Everybody says you're too tough. Now they'll get over it. They'll get better.
Now, what player kind of reminds you who you coach that plays like you, reminds you of you?
Scary. Chrissy Brown, I would say a lot, just because she's so behind everybody, but her work ethic puts her ahead of everybody. She's short. She's a 5'9" guard playing the post, but she's not going to let nobody punk her. She's going to front everybody. She's going to make sure and push through. She's not going to grab necessarily every rebound, but she's going to work for every rebound. Everything she does, she's going to work her butt off and make sure she gets it done. So I can see her, in a lot of me. And I think we clash sometimes because I'm so hard on her. She thinks she's my favorite. She ain't. she might be, but I can see myself in her a lot.
All I know, somebody told me, and I got to look at some of your old game film. They said your game is almost like Tisha Pinachero.
Ooh.
Your game is on like Tisha Pinachero. That was another tough little point guard.
Yes, she was.
You're right.
Tough little point guard. I'm like, man, I don't know how good she is. I'm like, man, don't mess with, man. That girl can play.
I wouldn't put me in that same category.
Coach Guzzardo, first conference championship, first NCAA tournament berth, first 20-win season at Southeastern Louisiana. And VK, I know you didn't know this, but when she was an assistant coach at Akron, they went to the tournament for the first time. I told you she's full of firsts.
She is full of firsts. That's crazy. So she was a player and an assistant coach. That's unbelievable. I mean, we appreciate you gracing us our presence.
Yes.
We thank you so much for taking the invitation to join us. You deserve everything you're getting right now, and I wish you the best in the future.
We. Thank you.
We. I'm sorry. Yeah, we wish you the best in the future. And at the same time, we want you to come back soon. We definitely do.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And look, I'm just happy I'm getting followed up by one of the great Tom Taylor coming after me.
Oh
Look,
Oh yeah.
fun fact, he coached me when I was in middle school, I think. He coached me when I was in middle school, taught me everything I know.
Oh wow.
Wow.
It's
Wow.
amazing.
Yes,
Good.
So
indeed.
he's a good
thing.
coach. He's a good coach.
Yes,
Definitely.
he is.
Yes,
Definitely.
he is, without a doubt. Coach
Thank
Guzzardo,
you.
thank you for joining us. And join us again in the future. And good luck to you and your team in the future.
Got it. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Coach.
Before we bring in Coach Tom, you saw this team in person. What do you thought about this team in the future?
Southeast Louisiana. Great future indeed. Great future. A lot of very good players that's going to be returning. Jean Pierre is definitely the future of that team. And you look at all the other players that's going to be returning next year. And especially you look at Alicia, well, I'm going to say it right, Alasia Washington out of Madison Prep is going to be a big factor. Sierra Cunningham is another one that's going to be stepping. Actually, I'm sorry, she's a senior. Excuse me. You got Jalen Herdison that's going to be pretty good. That's coming back. She's going to be a senior next year. Deja Harvey out of Donaldsonville. She's going to be handling some business next year. I know the biggest thing they're going to be looking for next year. They're going to be looking for somebody in the bigs. I know Taylor Dupree's going to do what she can. She's going to be a red shirt. Actually, she's going to be coming off the red shirt next year. So she's going to be ready to go. Alexis Horn is going to be a big timer. Going to be coming off. Is going to be coming in and helping out. Natalie Kelly is the one person they're going to have to replace. I mean, 6'3". I mean, very good getting the rebounds. Haley Garatano is going to be huge next year. Her and Jean Pierre is going to lead things, and they're going to do what they can to lead Southeastern, hopefully, to back-to-back Southland Conference championships, and hopefully to another NCAA tournament bid, and hopefully better next year. They might win a first-round game. Or maybe go further than that. Uh-oh. Can't hear you. Uh-oh. We kind of lost Jerry. We'll have him back in a minute. Looks like he's getting Coach Taylor from from Ponchatoula boys basketball. So he'll come up. Jared. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Okay.
We're
yeah,
good.
I hear you. Yes.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's get the show. Let's keep it rolling. Mm-hmm. Our next guest, he is the head coach of the Ponchatoula boys basketball team. They are your 2023 Division I non-select state champions. We have Coach Tom Taylor. Coach, how you doing today?
I'm good, guys. How are y'all?
All
doing
right.
Good.
Appreciate
Coach.
it. Pretty good.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us, Coach. Coach, this team was a special team, and they're special to you. Why do you love this team so much?
Because we have a bond. There's a bond from the kids. I know that coaches talk about the X's and O's, and I've been saying this every time. When guys are easy to coach and play for each other, good things happen, and they truly are friends on and off the court. They support each other. They love each other. They taught me a lot about it this year.
Let's go to the state championship game against New Iberia. New Iberia was ranked number 1 in the power rankings going into the playoffs. You guys meet them in the finals. What was your offensive game plan? Because it seemed like after the first quarter, everything that you guys did just worked, from driving the ball to the hoop, to giving the ball to Allen Graves, to passing the ball out into the corner to where I think his name is Ryan, was shooting threes. What was the offensive game plan?
That was Trey Parham you were talking about.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, that's it.
You said a big part, Allen Graves. I hope y'all got a chance to watch him play.
Yes.
He can do a little bit of everything for us. He's a 6'9", but he's a point guard. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
He doesn't dribble the ball up for us. But But as far as extension of what I think or what our staff or the team reads, they go through him. So it's pretty, I guess, he's our foundation. And then when you can hit a couple shots like my boy Trey Parham, when he hit those shots, that was big. And, the offense we got, I guess we wanted to be aggressive because they're aggressive defensively. And I think if we could bully them a little bit and withstand their toughness, it was going to pay off.
At the beginning of the season, Coach, you guys started 0-3.
Yeah.
What was it that got you guys going on the right track?
Well, I can give you the superstition, or I can give you the what happened. All right, which one do you want?
You can give us both.
All right. Well, a long time ago, I had a player. I grew a beard out, kind of my off-season look, and he said, "Coach, we don't take you serious when you haven't shaved. When you got a beard, we don't take you serious." Look, I shaved that sucker off. We started winning. So first 3 games of the season, I look in the mirror. I'm like, damn, I'm still scruffy. And look, I shaved that sucker for the 4th game, and here we are. But being 0-3 sucks. It's never fun, and especially when you have high expectations and want to go to that next step. 0-3 is the motivator.
Talk about why is it a great idea to have a tough non-district schedule? I mean, you play teams like Walker, Newman, Liberty, Catholic, Scotlandville, to name a few. Why is that so important?
Tough is relative. You know what I mean? If you're not very good, a middle of the pack team can be tough. So you want to play tougher. When you have a team that has a chance for success, I think you got to play the tougher guys, the champions. I mean, if you look down the who's who of who we played, they was there. And,
yes, sir.
And I feel like if you want to get to that point, you got to know what that tastes like. I've sat down at the restaurant, but I hadn't ordered that meal yet. But I'm going to go back. I'm going to start hanging with the guys that eat there, and we're going to get the good stuff. And eventually you get a group that might be able to just take it for you.
Before I pass it on to VK, I heard that you didn't set a goal for your team, but you let your team set their own goal, which was to win a state championship. Why did you let your team set that goal?
I stole it from Coach Calipari, all right? And because he has a way of getting through these kids nowadays, at least he did. I don't know what he's doing now, but he must be speaking a different language. But for a few years there, Coach could get through to some guys, those young millennial type of guys. And one of the things he said was always let them set the goal, because you are now holding them accountable to a standard that they picked. So we'd be in the middle of a practice, and I'd yell out, "You want to get coached like a state champion? I'm going to coach you like one. Don't go complain. Don't whine. Don't roll your eyes. Don't do none of that." And, I guess I'm coaching them like a state champion, but I'm figuring that's going to get us beat against Scotlandville. That's going to get us beat against New Iberia. That's going to get us beat against Walker, and you learn those things.
Coach, it's good to have you on and everything. Let me ask you this. First of all, your thoughts, like we talked a little bit, did you your team expect to wind up going against New Iberia? Like you lost to them to go to 0-3 early in the year, but you get to the championship. Did you ever think that you would face them again, and this time it's winner take all?
Well, I knew through talking, I talked with Skiro after the Walker game. We played twice. I talked with Chad after the game, and those guys, as we compete, we all kind of wish each other luck and say, "I hope to see you again." We probably will. We know we're going to have to figure this thing out at some point. So they're number one for a reason. I figured that they hadn't lost, but I think they ended up 3 games. So, they had a pretty strong chance of getting there. I like that we played them before, because I kept on referencing that game and saying, "How do we win that game? How do we win that game?" That's how we kind of coached through that period.
What are your thoughts? How things have been with not just the fact how Alan Graves have been playing, great all around player, like you mentioned, a high basketball IQ, but how all his teammates just stepped in, and then on top of that, your bench comes up big with some big plays and stuff like that. And you mentioned Parham with the big shots, Taj Jackson, and how you felt that all those teammates stepped in and took a lot of pressure off of you and off of Allen Graves.
Uh, you know, again, a group of guys that really care about each other. So when you see one guy maybe struggling, that you pick him up. And when you see something working for somebody, you boost them up. You keep on, you feed them the ball. And every team's got a little bit of time like that. One of the things, I coached Coach Kennedy at Southeastern for a couple of years as an undergrad, as a student assistant and a grad assistant. And he made a point of saying that Jason Kidd, when he coached at Cal, Jason Kidd could take the 4 worst players in the gym and go beat the next top 5. Because he makes players around him better. And that's what Allen does for us. So another guy I got to mention, I'd be remiss if I didn't, is Cam Collier. He's my senior. Cam's not a point guard, but he handled the ball for us this year. Cam was going to be my 6th man off the bench last year, and he said, nope, that's not what we're doing. And Trey hit the big shots. Taj came over from Liberty this year and got a chance to play, so he played big minutes down the stretch there. Corey Jackson didn't score a point in the final game. I think he took 5 charges against Ruston to get there. Jeremiah Lewis had a big semifinal game. So all these guys, and nobody ever asked me to see the scorebook. Nobody cares what happens. They want to see the dub at the end of the night.
Cam, he's a very, very tough player.
Very tough.
Absolutely. He's one of the favorite kids I've ever coached. I've never had a complaint. He's never talked back. I've never had to ask him about his grades. Get on to him every now and then. Parents haven't said, except, hey, head coach, how you doing? We'll get him next time to me. And he pays everything on time. So, he's one of my favorite kids I've ever had.
Now taking a look, like we know about the high recruiting for Allen Graves. A lot of schools are coming at him. Got a couple offers. What about your seniors this season? Any of them have been offered yet, or have a chance at playing college basketball?
I tell parents this when we start having a college discussion. I say my job is not to get your kid in to play college basketball. And I know a lot of people now they don't like that because everybody thinks they can play. But I said my job is to let your kid have a great high school experience. If the next level thinks that he can play college basketball because it's his paycheck, I said, yeah, I'll support it. I'll do whatever I can do. Okay, so we kind of shoot them real straight. All right, to go around this. Do I think they could find a place to play? Absolutely, 100%. But my man Cordero, I don't know where he's going. I was trying to ship one of them off to Coach Cordero, and I don't know. I think something's cooking with y'all need to tell me off the air. Samples and Cordero leaving and basketball. I'm waiting for a call. That's all I'm waiting for.
I heard that, man. And Coach Cordero is a good friend of mine, man, and I know he's basically just and we had him on our show last week.
I watched that,
and he's basically thank you, Coach. Appreciate it. He's basically shopping himself more than anything else. He put a lot of time and effort at LSU Alexandria, so I wouldn't be surprised he's going to be at somebody's program as a head coach or a top assistant. But for Carlos Sample, I wouldn't be surprised. He might be top assistant somewhere. I wouldn't be surprised. He might be back at his alma mater at Southern University.
Maybe there's a lot of wheels in motion, and not everybody gets to know those conversations right now. But
right, we'll find out down the road, though. We'll find out down the road.
We'll find
what
out,
I'm saying? Exactly.
I got a couple people say, I'm saying, I told y'all. So we're gonna find out.
Yes, sir. But I want to ask you this, and I'm gonna let Jared finish everything off. Your thoughts on Ponchatoula really coming up, and we know back in the day, good athletes coming through all over the place. Great people come from Ponchatoula, but the athletic year of a lifetime. Your girls basketball team, 2 state championship appearances, 1 state title. Football team under Hank Tierney, state championship game. Now you guys get to the state championship and win it. What you can say about Ponchatoula athletics, man? It seems like it's really have been coming up, and that town is rocking. Y'all even had a parade as well.
Yeah, we had a little throwdown. I tell you what, I tell people all the time that we got one of the best little big towns anywhere. Coach Charlie Domino, an old AAU coach on the South Shore there, he told me a long time ago, he goes, get you at a community school, somebody where you the coach and the community, you got to win the community. And man, Ponchatoula and I, we've been clicking like that, and I love our place. I love the kids that come through. The coaches, Coach Tierney, Coach Trish Landash. I got a story about her though. I'm gonna tell you in a minute.
Okay.
But our coaches support each other. We don't, I've worked for Stephen Fitzhugh at Ouachita Christian. He's a Hall of Famer. I've worked with Hank Tierney. He's pretty doggone good, Hall of Famer. And I've had 2 great experiences working with football coaches, and a lot of basketball coaches, they don't get along. But I tell you what, these 2 guys have taught me a lot about working together, and I've seen that go through our community and through our coaching staff on all the sports. We got you, VK. You sounded a little surprised trying to talk about Ponchatoula earlier when you introduced him, man. I said he needs to. I'm going to tell him about it. I said we got a great place, man. Not just Strawberry Fest, which is coming up though.
It's great, VK.
I think it's very nice because.
Wait,
Go ahead, Jerry.
I go to Ponchatoula a couple times a year, which I'll be up there next month on the 29th for a Taekwondo tournament. But man, like you said, Coach, just being out there, meeting people from that area, it's amazing and wonderful.
And I think I'm gonna be out there a little more myself because I tell you, I got a couple of baseball dates. A couple of our junior colleges I cover. We're gonna be playing in Southeastern. The Region 23 tournament will be in Southeastern this year. So, and I have a friend of mine that's in Ponchatoula now that stays around there. So, taking a look at the community, and I gotta go around the town a little more to take a look at it. It seems like it's real nice, and when I try to look for my boy's house, and his daughter is actually Alyssa Hilliard.
Okay.
Yeah. Me and him, we grew up together.
Yeah. No,
so I'm
good people.
Yeah. So I'm going to look for his house, and that was the week of the top 28, and I'm like, okay, like where are you at? And I'm like, we're in the woods, and then there's all of a sudden I get to the back. Oh, this where you at?
Yeah.
I was like, well, you did the right thing. You got way from the hood, man. I gotta give you props on that. But I like what I see out there, man. It's a really cool place. I definitely want to come back and just look at more things.
Come hit me up. I'll take you a couple spots, okay?
Appreciate it. You got it.
Go.
Hey, real quick though, I want Ayla Guzzardo. Let me tell you something. I coached this young lady a little bit when I think I was 20, maybe. I was at Southeastern and I was working. I had a baseball and basketball job and the athletic director up at Matadolo Rosa, an independent little private school. I think I got paid $900 for the year or something stupid. I was 20. That was good money. And Ayla was an 8th grader, and Coach Landash was at St. Joe Junior High, St. Joe in Ponchatoula, and she was undefeated with a team that is 1,000-point scorers on our gym wall now. And Ayla's coach didn't show up, so I went and coached the game and put Ayla at the top of 1-2-2. She smoked him. I mean, she killed him. She talked about herself being tough. She's tough. She talked about herself being competitive and hungry. When she was 8th grade, I said, this girl has got it. I knew it. And she couldn't shoot. She ain't lying. She couldn't shoot a lick. I haven't seen her shoot in 20 years, but she can't shoot a lick now. But look, she has done an awesome job. I'm proud to say say that I got anything to do with that, I'll take credit for it at that stuff.
Wow. And so that's the Coach Ayla and Coach Trish story at one time, right?
I guess I put them both where they go. I don't know. She can tell Kim Mulkey's in the Final Four because of her. Go ahead, baby, do it.
Man, Jared, go ahead and finish it up. But I'm gonna ask you this, Coach.
Yes,
LSU women, you think they got a chance to win the whole thing?
Oh, absolutely. It's tough. I've seen Coach Mulkey invited us or let us come in at Baylor to watch a couple practices, and so we got to watch the boys and the girls practice a couple times. And she wasn't there; her staff was there. But man, they are serious. And so if she's there, she's got a chance. Her team's got a chance. They got Angel Reese. They got a chance. It'll be a dogfight, but that's what they're about.
Coach, we'll get you out of here with this last question.
Yes, sir.
What is the reason that made you want to become a coach?
I love basketball, and I guess as I have grown up, I mean, somebody just told me, "Hey, you might be a good coach." I said, "All right, cool, let's go coach." And my first guy I worked with was Coach Golf at Hannon, and so he introduced me to high school basketball. Pretty tough. It wasn't the same, and I just figured out that I could do something good. I could take a gift I've been given as far as being able to communicate to kids and help community and just be a good role model for those that need it and be a good teacher for those that need it. And I can't see myself doing anything else.
And Coach, I gotta ask you this, and I forgot to think about that. With the top 28, what are your thoughts of 3 Southeastern Louisiana teams getting the state championship, and Baton Rouge only came out with just 2? And that's really something. What are your thoughts on that? And also, did you think it was shocking that Scotlandville went down in that weekend?
Man, that's a multi-level question real quick. All right. Basketball, I think the best basketball is down south. Okay. I think right now, but I mean, you're talking about 5 of the 10 state championships within 40 miles, so yeah, that's pretty good. Select, non-select people winning it down here. The big schools anyways, little schools kind of got, even Port Allen, Coach DeMario over there killing it. So, basketball's down here. Okay. The good basketball's down here. As far as a guy like Coach Samples in Scotlandville, they played a heck of a team with Catholic, and that's the 3rd time they had to play him, I think.
Yes.
Third time. And I think they beat them twice, and that's the rule in coaching is it's hard to beat a team 3 times because you've given them your 2 best licks, and it was close, and Catholic's tough, and man, they just they did great stuff, and I guess Coach only has to live with 8 now, doesn't get his 9th, but congrats to Catholic, and it's tough to see that game happen on both sides because I love them both, but somebody got to win it, and it's Catholic's year.
Coach, I'll tell you one thing, you got a young team coming back, and,
yes,
and we cannot wait to see what happens with you guys possibly have a chance to go back to back next year. So, and I wouldn't be surprised you're going to be back, and possibly New Iberia might be back as well, but I know it's going to be a little tougher next year, but we're expecting a lot of big things from you guys again.
Right. Well, thank you. We're going to enjoy this one and then get back to work here in a couple of months or a couple of weeks. I mean, not months. No. We're going to get back in about May. All right. We're going to take a little bit of time off.
Definitely. Yeah. Coach Tom Taylor, thank you for joining us. Hopefully we have you back on in the future, and good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Guys.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, Coach.
We'll see you soon. No problem.
All right. That is Coach Tom Taylor of the Ponchatoula Boys Green Wave 2023 state champions in basketball Division I non-select. And we just touched on it about them going back to back. He's bringing back so many players on his team. The expectations will be very high when the season starts. And I just don't know of a team that can beat this team with the shooters that they have and one of the best players in the state in Allen Graves. I just don't know who can do it, but man, trust me, to win a state championship and to bring back pretty much everybody, it's going to be hard to beat this team.
Yes, they're gonna be very, very tough. The only team that I see, and like I said, I wouldn't be surprised. It might be a rematch. It's gonna be no doubt. It's gonna be New Iberia. They're bringing a lot of folks back next season, and they're gonna come back with a vengeance. Should be if they play each other again in the state championship, it's gonna be a much better game. But Ponchatoula is definitely the favorite to win it all, especially with all them people coming back, Allen Graves and company. Allen Graves, and if you ever see him play and anything else, he might be playing in the summertime. Please check him out. Please check him out. He is mature beyond his years and probably one of the best big men we have seen in a long time in the state of Louisiana. I like how Dorian Booker has played this season. He's been amazing. Graves is a little bit better, man. It's
I was just about
amazing
to
what
say,
Graves is a little bit better. I
yes.
like what Booker does, and I said he was the best big man until I looked at the semis, and I was like, this was like the first time I seen him in person. And Ken Trahan kept saying, Graves is a little bit more better than Booker. You need to see him. And when I seen him, I was like, you're right.
Yes,
you're right. That boy
he's the best big man in the top 28 March Madness tournament, without a doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. He's right there, number one. Then Booker's right there, number two. But it was amazing the game plan that Cadlick had for him. But for Graves, I mean, even the adjustments he had to make, and he can just hit it from inside and outside.
Yes.
And he can dribble.
Yes.
But once he gets a little more of the dribbling motion, and I'll tell you one thing, Graves has some size on him.
Yeah.
If he loses a little bit weight and gains some muscle and gets quicker, look out.
I'm not gonna say lose a little bit more weight, but just gain. I'm not
saying lose a lot.
No,
lose a little bit. Gain the muscle.
Yeah.
Because he had a brother that played college basketball and a sister that played college basketball.
That's right.
So he's under a good family, but I think out of the three, the way it's looking, he's got a great basketball IQ out of the three. And I'll tell you one thing, he's got a great future. The most humblest dude I probably have seen in a minute covering high school basketball. Very humble. Not that type of dude be talking smack. He the type of dude, he's one of the type of dudes I love.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, I'm the type of person that don't like cockiness too much. If you confident, cool. But if you go overboard, that's cocky. When you let your game do the talking and you don't say nothing, but you let your game do the talking, I love people like that.
Me too.
I love people like that. When people gonna talk, get in your face, and all of a sudden you dunk on them, you get that block, you jack them, and you just get that look, or maybe give them a little motion, and you got getting their face too. It's like, So I like that in Allen Graves. You know what I'm saying? I think if he continues, I know his grades are probably high. He continues, academically, he continues with, looking at the, street smarts outside of things, knowing what's going on. He's going to have a great future. He can write his own ticket.
Without a doubt.
He can write his own ticket.
All right. Now, I got some breaking news for you. Okay. I need you to listen to this very, very carefully.
This must be something critical. So go ahead with it.
It is critical, and it's going to change the landscape of some southeastern high schools here. There are some schools that are going to be closing, and these students are going to new schools. So I'm about to start with the first one. Grace King High School students will be absorbed into Bonneville and Riverdale High Schools.
Oh.
The next high school, Helen Cox High School students will be absorbed into John Ehret, Higgins, and West Jeff.
Not surprising. That was the one school that was going to be coming up that could be closing. So
that was big talk out here. That was
the big talk.
Yes. Got another one for you.
I'm shocked with Grace King. I'm very,
I
very
didn't see that
shocked.
coming either.
I didn't see that coming.
Got another one for you.
Okay.
Haynes Academy students
Whoa.
will relocate to the Grace King High School campus. So it sounds like Grace King will become Haynes Academy.
Academy. Oh, wow. Because that was in the works. And that was a lot of work because they was talking about Haynes could go to another school because the enrollment is starting to grow.
Pick up.
And they was out there in Old Metairie, and that school was a little bit smaller than it is.
Very small.
Because they
Even the
was
gym.
because they was talking about, and I'm surprised they're going to Grace King, which is a lot bigger than I thought. Because the word was T.H. Harris Middle was going to be the place they might move, but that's huge for them. So, but I can't believe that they're going to sacrifice Grace King after everything that they have overcome, and for them to try to come up because their enrollment was starting to grow.
Right.
So, wow. What's next? Is that
last one? Thomas Jefferson Academy students will relocate to the Gretna Middle School campus.
So Thomas Jefferson will still be open, but they're just gonna relocate. Wow, because I think Gretna Middle has not. It's another school, I believe. So now they're gonna take over there, which makes sense because I think they outgrew the old Archbishop Blank High. They really outgrew that place.
A lot of talks. People wanted to get out of that facility, that building. A lot of people wanted to stay, but they're on the go. So that's the breaking news that I just received, ladies and gentlemen. Now,
from the media or from inside sources?
Well, I was told about the Thomas Jefferson going to Gretna Middle because it was somebody saw the school board meeting, and then now I just got all the info. No, it's hard to see. There it is. I got all of the info.
Oh.
So I announced all the high schools. I didn't say all the middle schools. I just said all the high schools.
All the high schools.
A lot of middle schools also that's going to do the same thing.
Well, I'll ask you about the middle schools off the air because I definitely got one particular I want to definitely see about.
I got you. Definitely.
Thank you.
Now, let's get into the Final Four of the men. So, we have...
How about the ladies first?
Well, I'm going to do the ladies last because we still got a game being played.
Oh, right. You're right. I forgot.
We have Virginia Tech and Ohio State in the close one right now. They're at halftime, and I think Ohio State is up by 1. Let me double check. No, Virginia Tech is up by 3. Sorry. Over Ohio State. But the men's, we have Florida Atlantic taking on San Diego State and Miami versus UConn. Those are your Final Four matchups. I'll let you go first. Who do you have going to the championship, and who do you have winning?
Okay, this is a good one. You said San Diego State, Florida Atlantic.
Yes.
And then UConn and Miami.
Yes.
Well, a lot of things happen, and it's amazing that this Final Four, possibly, maybe one of the greatest Final Fours ever. And this is unbelievable in Texas. That no team out of state Texas is there. Not even your Longhorns, sir.
Hey, yo, Houston Cougars lost before.
You're right. You're right, and you're right, and you're right. But I tell you, man, big ups going to these schools, and it's amazing. 2 teams out of the state of Florida for the first time ever in the Final Four. Nah, this is not the first time a team out of the state of Florida made it, but it's the first time 2 has made it in the Final Four unexpectedly. Miami, what a time. I mean, I tell you, man, Miami, football, but you got to think Miami basketball, baseball holding it down, the women's team, what a year for them. So coming through all this, I think both of the matchups were interesting. Miami, they've been doing so well, but UConn is on another level. George Peppers said a lot about them early in the season, especially the way how the big men play and how they have the flow, how they can move, how they can find people, and they got good shooters. And the thing about UConn is this: you better not get behind. You get behind, especially early in the second half, you're in trouble. they've been on cruise control every round. I know the Elite Eight, they went on cruise control, but at the same time, and I hate to say it, the officials helped out a little bit too, because the questionable fouls earlier. Basically, when they called the fourth foul on Drew Timmy, game over, which should have been a no call. When they did that, and I'm like, you basically gave him the game. Great job. Because now they're on cruise control. Now as soon as the league got to what? It was like what, 13, 12, 13, still
They were
kind of
about
close.
double digits in the league.
And
I said it before it's 4-5. I say Timmy get another foul. Game definitely over.
Yeah, they called a fourth foul. And that was the game.
That was it.
But they should have never called it because it was still in distance. But all of a sudden they called it. UConn took off, game over. I think it'll be close early. And if UConn goes on a big run, look out, especially if late in the first half or going to the second half. But I like UConn getting to the championship game. And I think it will be against it's hard to tell who's gonna win that game. Because these are two unknowns that are here. I gotta go with Brian Dutcher and San Diego State. The redemption tour for this team. And the reason why I say redemption, think about it. COVID year, there was a number one seed. Brian Dutcher's first year taking over. And guess what? They could not play. Them and Dayton had great chances of getting to the Final Four and did not play. Especially Dayton. They did not play. Now for them to go and make a run, win their conference tournament, get to the NCAAs and making a run that they're making, Brian Dutcher was prepared for moments like this, especially being under Steve Fisher. I think it'll be San Diego State, UConn for the national championship and my national championship, and it's going to be a very close game. I got UConn winning the whole thing close. It's not going to be no blowout. San Diego State is going to give them everything they have. But does San Diego State have a chance to win it all? Yes. But I'm going to go with UConn just by the skin of their teeth to win it all.
See, to me, the best team is not in the Final Four. To me, the best team that could have won this whole championship gave the game away to Miami. They said, here, Miami, take it. Miami took it, and Miami won that game over Texas.
But Miami got a lot of heart, man.
Look,
they got a lot of heart, man.
Great coach, Jim Larinaga.
And here's the thing:
definitely, without a doubt,
who's been there?
Yes, he has.
That assistant coach ain't been there.
He's been there with George Mason. Yes, he has. But man, a double-digit lead that Texas had with less than 10 minutes. Come on, man, you got to finish these boys off. You got to.
And they got a little bit too cocky, and they got kicked in the mouth.
That too. I agree.
And see, the assistant coach who took over, I think he did a good enough job that I hope he gets the permanent position.
That came out today. He is the head coach. He got the job.
What's his name?
Let me go look it up.
Yeah, look it up right quick. He did a really good job taking over the program, and I just hope that Texas supports him, because I tell you, I hope they don't do what they did to Shaka Smart. You know what I'm saying? That's too much high expectations. That's what
Rodney Terry
does. Rodney Terry?
Yes.
Good for him.
Yes.
Good for him.
Yes.
Now, like I said, Larinaga's been there and all that. One of the greatest runs ever for an interim coach, Mike Davis, who he took Indiana to the Final Four. Mm-hmm. Have not seen that kind of run again.
Took them to the championship.
Took them to the championship game. You're right. He took them to the championship game. So I don't know. We had never seen a run like that again. Terry came close, but you know what I'm saying? We wish him the best. We hope Texas supports him all the way with that. But go ahead and continue. You said Texas is the best team. So
Miami, UConn. I got UConn winning this game. I do. I think UConn gets by Miami. And in the other game, I think Florida Atlantic is going to escape over San Diego State. I really do, man. This is a great team, man. Like,
yeah, they are.
They are.
They are a great team.
Period. And
one of the
3 losses, 35 wins, and you beat 3 ranked teams in the regular season, and you're a small school that only holds a capacity of 3,000 people in your gym. Come on now.
And you have to think, and you have to think the location where they're at. They're in Boca Raton, Florida. Relaxing, retirement. It's a good location, man. You know what I'm saying? And I tell you, one of the greatest runs for a Conference USA team since Marquette, the last Conference USA team to make the Final Four. For them to get there, that is huge for them, and that's huge for the conference. That shows the conference has got better and better. So
without a doubt,
that. Yes.
So I got FAU taking on UConn. The winner, I have UConn. But who do I want to win? I want a mid-major to win. Can we say UConn's a mid-major now in the Big East?
What? No.
No, because tradition would not let you say that about UConn.
No, UConn has multiple national championships.
Yes, they do.
And then you have to think.
In the old Big East, the powerful old Big East.
But then you have to think the last time UConn won it all was where?
I don't know. Where was
it? In
it?
Houston.
Who was the head coach? Was it Kevin Ollie?
I believe that was I think it was Ollie who coached them. And let me check right quick, because no, it wasn't Ollie. Calhoun's last couple years. That was the Cardiac Kimball run.
But wait, didn't Kevin Ollie win a championship?
He did win a championship, but they didn't win it in Houston.
Okay.
When they won it in Houston, not the last time they won it, but they did win it in Houston before. That was Kemba
Walker.
Kemba Walker.
Yes.
The Kemba Walker run.
Okay.
When they beat Butler in a low scoring game.
That's when Butler went back to back for the championship and lost.
Yeah, sure
All right.
did.
Cool. I want FAU to win this. I do. Think about it. FAU is in Boca Raton, which is outside Miami. Think about the bragging rights FAU would have over FIU and Miami if they were to win this national championship.
Oh, not just that, the whole state of Florida. I mean, dude, you know, Florida Atlantic will be the second team in the state of Florida ever to win a national championship, besides the Florida Gators who won back to back. So that will be very, very big. Am I rooting for UConn? Like, I think Danny Hurley has done a hell of a job. He's proven to be the better coach out of the two.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Bobby Hurley, I could definitely say has saved this job after the year he had this year with the Arizona State. He was on a hot seat. That's gone. But for Danny Hurley, he has proved himself as a really, really good coach. They kept improving this year. Probably his best team in a very tough Big East conference. Very improving tough, which will be tough again next season.
Yes, it will.
Might be more tougher now. Now you got the coaching shuffle. You got Rick Pitino going to St. John's.
Yes.
And you're also very surprising that I forgot the head coach at Providence left from there, now Georgetown. So it's gonna be very, very interesting to see what happens. It's gonna get better and better. UConn is the favorite. I would love to see San Diego State win the whole thing. I'm hoping San Diego State does it, or Florida Atlantic, or Miami.
I want a mid-major to win.
But I do want a mid-major to win, just to prove how much parity the college basketball. The thing I was hoping, most importantly, I was hoping that UConn and Texas didn't make it to the Elite Eight. I was hoping, okay, for sure, we about to have an all mid-major, non-traditional Final Four in your face. All the traditional. I wanted that so bad, because here comes your boy, Mr. Peppers, talking about I'm being a coward because I did not do a bracket. I wanted to avoid embarrassment. That's why I didn't do a bracket. How I'm going to do a bracket? I ain't watched most of these games this year. You got to be stupid if you're going to do one. You do it for fun. But I'd rather compete and try to have a chance to win instead of just be like, okay, I don't know nothing. I'm just guess.
Well,
this is like a betting.
I say this, BK. I hear what you're saying, But guess what? Ain't nobody had all these teams in the Final Four.
Now you're right. And see, that's what makes it so fun by not doing a bracket. It makes it so fun not doing a bracket. Like some people pick Virginia.
You get to enjoy and just watch it.
Yeah, I just enjoy and watch. Like one of my boys picked Virginia to go for. I said, dude, this was the one thing. There were certain teams I seen that's been up and down, or a conference being super weak, and it's like, what are you thinking picking them? I would have not picked them, knowing, okay, now one of the upsets we talked about on the show, it came through, and I was like, I was like, bruh, I watch too much basketball. If I know a team that bad, nope. Nope. I picked Kansas State over freaking Kentucky. I was like, look, Kentucky up and down. I'm going with the hot hand.
Yes.
And I think Kansas State had the chance to get to the final. It was just too bad that they went on the slump at the wrong time, but they got a great future. Coach Tang, what a job he done. What a job he done over there. And he's now, I think he's going to get an extension, man. I think Kansas State is going to be good to go, especially watch out for Dorian Fincher, the Dorian Finister folks. Watch out for him. He's coming. He's coming, man. He's coming.
Yes, indeed. Let's get to the girls right quick. Right now, Virginia Tech leads Ohio State 50-47. The winner of this game will play LSU. And I know we heard Coach Guzzardo and Coach Tom Taylor say they think LSU has a good shot. I am on the other side of the fence. Here is why. They don't have any jump shooters. They cannot shoot the basketball at all. Number one, when they played Utah, I thought Kim Mulkey's defensive game plan was horrible. You're playing a team that can't even dribble the ball. You ain't trying to trap these girls. You didn't try to press. None of that to make them force turnovers. No way Utah girls should have been in the game with LSU at all. I'm sorry. They talk about the Pac-12 Player of the Year, whatever her name is.
But you got to give some credit to Utah. They did have some good ball movement, regardless of not dribbling.
Okay.
They can move. They can move. They could move. They can move the ball. They can run.
Good ball movement. But back to what I'm saying, we're not trapping them. We're not trying to force a turnover. Nothing. I think her name was Peely. I could be wrong. Yes. Power forward that's 5'10". Are you serious? I guess this SEC school ain't no way Utah should be in a game with LSU. LSU's defensive game plan was horrible. Now let's get to the next game. Miami got athletes also. They got talented players. You telling me the head coach of Miami and their staff didn't watch film and couldn't see that LSU cannot shoot the basketball? Why are you playing them in man? You go straight up zone. Trust me.
I think the reason why they went to man. Now I get what you're saying. It could have went man and switched up the zone a little bit. But I could see why they went to man because they matched up pretty well with them. Especially that big girl Spearman. She made Angel Reese earn that game. Because she was not no punk. No. None of them girls. No. They came up, and there's a reason why they played man. So I do agree they could have switched it in and out. Did what Carver did against Madison Prep. Put a little man, switch a little zone. Where on LSU? You know what I'm saying? That's what they could have did. The man strategy was not a bad idea because it's the fact that they can match up.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I'll say this. If they played that zone, Miami is in a closer ball game. I agree with that. Because look at it. How many 3-pointers were made the whole game between both teams?
Probably 3?
No. Go down. 1. And that was Poole of LSU. She can't shoot. Alexis Morris can only shoot the basketball when she gets inside the paint. Other than that, she can't shoot. And Flau'jae Johnson can stop shooting the ball, period. I'm sorry, man.
I think Flau'jae is so much better driving the ball more than anything
That's her
else.
game. That's correct.
And she's a good defender. You know what I'm saying? I think Flau'jae is going to become a better shooter down the line.
She has no choice.
She's gonna become a better shooter now. Like I said, like I don't know, coach is not having to shoot too much or whatever. But looking at,
hold on, she was 0 for 7 against Utah, and then she was 1 of 10, I believe, in this game against Miami.
She's gonna have to really work in the off season because, like I said, I looked at her high school film and stuff like that.
It's phenomenal, right?
She's all around player. She can shoot the ball, drive, and everything else. It's just the next level adjustments, and especially later in the season and stuff like that. I think in the off season, I think hopefully the music career don't interfere too much. I think she need to take some. And I think it's not because she's in the classroom. She's in there practice, working hard. I think in the off season, she needs to not worry about the music, and they're not knocking her because she's on that hustle. But she needs to worry about
Rock Nation.
If I was her, talk with Rock Nation. I need some time. I need some time to work.
But let me finish right quick.
Go ahead.
Let me finish right quick.
Finish it up.
So that's a major problem that they don't have anybody that can shoot. Now they get Michaela Williams next year. She can shoot the ball.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna help big time. And then the other 3 All-Americans they got coming, I don't know if they can shoot or not, but I'm gonna do some research and see. That's gonna help big time. I think they will have a better chance if it's Virginia Tech, matchup wise. I think Ohio State matches up better with LSU and give them more of a challenge, but I think Virginia Tech is a better matchup for LSU. I really do. If they give Virginia Tech, I'm gonna sit here and say this: LSU got to make shots. They can't be scoring in the 50s, in the low 60s anymore. They gotta get points. Virginia Tech right now in the third quarter got 54 points. So you got to be able to put the points on the board. At the same time, LSU is a good defensive team. They are. So I'm not picking, but that's how I look at it. As far as the other game, Iowa and South Carolina, I'm telling you now, the best player on the court is not Boston for South Carolina. It is Caitlin Clark for Iowa, the female Steph Curry. She could dish it. She could find an open person. She could shoot the rock like Steph Curry, and she could rebound. South Carolina will have to guard everybody because that whole team can shoot. But at the end, I don't think Iowa has the athletes and players that can match up with South Carolina. I got South Carolina back in the championship, and they'll play either LSU, Virginia Tech, or Ohio State. Floor is yours, buddy.
So you're not even.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. I want LSU to get to the championship game. You know why? Because I watched those years with Simone Augustus and Sylvia Fowles, 5 straight Final Four appearances, and they lost them all.
Especially the one here in New Orleans. I still never forget that one. I don't know how.
The ball over. Oh,
I don't know how. I still say to this day. The Tennessee team they played, not a bad team, but LSU was a better team. I don't know how in the blue hell they lost that game. I still don't know. And it's like, to me, if LSU wins the game, they win the national championship. That's just straight up.
They should have had at least 2, maybe 3.
Yes.
A year. Let's go a year later. A year later, after that loss in Indianapolis, they up on Baylor by 20. And Baylor can make it win the game.
No way in the world.
No way. Man.
Polk should have got about 2 titles. Gunner would have got a ring. It's just crazy, man. It's just real crazy. But I think, looking at the Final Four itself, I think Ohio State will give LSU some hell. A whole lot of hell. Now, if it's them and Virginia Tech, I think LSU in more of a tougher conference, but ACC is tough too for this year. But I think LSU's defense is going to be too much for Virginia Tech. South Carolina and Iowa is going to be. It's going to be an awesome game. I don't know if Iowa pulls off the shocker. If Iowa comes out and did what Mississippi State did against UConn years ago and pulled off that upset, it's I don't think it's gonna happen. It's gonna be close. It's gonna come down to the fourth quarter. South Carolina, with their experience and everything else, they're gonna pull away. Aaliyah Boston is not the best. The two best players is Aaliyah Boston, Caitlin Clark. I'm not gonna say who's better. They're both good. They're both good. But at the same time, Aaliyah Boston is not gonna let South Carolina die. She's not. That's why I think it's going to be South Carolina and the LSU Tigers for the national championship. The winner is going to be South Carolina. It's going to be close early. It's going to be a little more closer than the last game because LSU's going to be ready. They're going to be ready. But Dawn Staley going to make her adjustments. South Carolina takes over second half. And they'll get it done. They'll finish undefeated. One of the greatest college teams of all time. So South Carolina wins it all. And I think LSU takes from there. And I'll tell you one thing. Next season, the LSU women, oh, yeah, they're going to be one of the big favorites next year.
I say this.
A lot of people come back.
I think next year, I've said it, with the 4 All-Americans they got coming in. And she got to replace some people. She might still go to the transfer portal. Might have to get another big. But
is Reese a senior?
No, she's a sophomore. The sophomore is coming back.
Oof. You got her, Flausia Johnson coming back.
I like to see Flausia move to the point guard position and be a little bit of a facilitator. And I think with Michaela Williams coming, move her to the 2, and she could shoot the rock.
Right.
I already told some people this. I said, I think next year, I don't think South Carolina gets back, but I think LSU and UConn, because you gotta remember, Paige Becker's been hurt for UConn this whole season.
Right.
He's coming back next season, so I think UConn and LSU will be your 2 favorites next season.
Yeah, I say the same. I say definitely LSU will be the favorite. South Carolina's losing some people. UConn, I can't put them as a favorite because the fact of the matter is, no disrespect to Paige Beckers. Paige Beckers need help. They usually have that one other person. Because here's the thing about Beckers. She is really good. But the thing is, how healthy she's going to be. She's going to need another person. Somebody going to be that number 2, that solid number 2 that can help her.
It's going to be there.
If Gino finds that, yeah, they'll be there. But you have to think that Big East women's conference hasn't gotten much better. Because you've seen what Villanova did this year. My goodness. I'm telling you now, I think LSU will be your eyes-on favorite.
I saw what Miami did to Villanova.
Now Miami. Now that team, that's a team that could be back. And they're gonna be back harder.
Coming back, the Cavalier twins.
They're gonna be a team that could go to the Final Four next year. That ACC is gonna be tough in itself.
Yes, without a doubt. Just talked to. I didn't talk to our good friend Charles Allen. You know, he's works at Grace King. He's very upset. He said we just held a football camp, and now we got this news. We were starting to build something over here at Grace King, and now this happens. This is at a lot of schools, man. This is gonna change a lot. Grace King closing, Helen Costco closing, teachers and coaches are looking for jobs now, man. This is the I hate to say it, and I'm gonna be real with you, and I don't care what anybody says. And Charles Allen, I hope you're listening. Everett Bates, I hope you're listening and all that. And I hope all the people that I know in Jefferson Parish are listening. All this is in the works of your idiot president of Jefferson Parish Schools, Mr. Gray. All this is going on because of his doing.
all this freaking stupid politics going on in Jefferson Parish. And I'm going to be real with you. And I hate to say it. It is blatant freaking racism in Jefferson Parish. Blatant. And it's in our faces. Because plain and simple, we know what the government doing. We know what education is doing. You cutting out all these people who are working hard. We're not talking about just the black people. We're talking about all people of color. But then on top of that, you hanging on these people. You hanging on all these people instead of doing what's supposed to be done. Setting these stupid rules. Setting up these stupid policies that doesn't work at all, period. Now you're going to shut down schools, shut down people and jobs. Mr. Gray, you ought to be a damn shame of yourself. You ought to be a damn shame of yourself, dude. And I'm saying that, and I'm saying you ought to be ashamed of yourself as a president. You ought to be ashamed of yourself as a black man. Yes, I'm saying it. I'm sorry. If you wrong, I'm going to call it out. And I don't care what anybody say. And like I said, if I ever been in a parish, if I ever go to a parish meeting, I would tell it to his face. You would have to get police to haul me off. Because, bruh, you got to do right by all people. You have to do right. You don't do right, the hell you in this position for? Go somewhere else with that. I ain't trying to kiss up for nobody or whatever. If this gonna destroy my people, I can't work here. I can't work here. Sorry. Find somebody else who's gonna be the fall freaking guy. It's just too much politics. Too much politics, Jared. Too much, man. I can't stand it.
I can't speak on it because I don't know what's really going on. But you obviously
I'm speaking on. I'm
you had
speaking on.
you had T.H. Harris, so you know what I
Exactly.
mean.
Exactly. And I know T.H. Harris is probably on the chopping block. And I know I'm hearing that the last thing I heard was a merger. So that was the last thing I heard from him. But at the same time, I mean, it don't do right, man. It's all kind of stuff that don't make no sense, period. And there's no kind of administrator that's trying to straighten it out. Don't even talk about the athletic department in Jefferson Parish. Lord Jesus. How bad that is right now. Ooh.
A lot of parks, man, recreational parks in JP closing. It's
Because you know what happened, and I hate to pull the race card. You politicking son bitches, when the black folks or people of color became leaders, you will cut the funding. Yeah, I'm calling you out. That's what it is. Blatant freaking racism. That's what it is in Jefferson Parish. I left this state for a reason. I left this state for me to be better. And this city ain't never gotten better. We got to deal with stupidness across the water with our freaking mayor still in office, with the stupidness they had to deal with recalling. And over here, we got politicians don't even give a damn about our own people. So what you think is going on? I don't like what I see. I want everybody to win. I don't care what color you are. I don't have a racist bone in my body. But for my people, you ain't about to do them wrong. How you gonna do us wrong in the recreation and stuff? Because back in the day, who was running it back in the day? You know who run back in the day, Jared. But things changed over the years. When we took over, oh, we need to cut the funding and stuff like. Are you serious? Are you serious? So plain and simple, I'm gonna always love my city. I'm always love my West Bank. I'm always love but at the same time, will I ever move out of here again? Hell yeah. And I'm ready to go again if I have to. I'll bring my daughter with me as well.
all right.
and all the views of this show is not pertaining to the views of VK Jones, and the Hash It Out show is prohibited.
Moving on.
Yes.
You call the games for Nunez Community College baseball team.
Yes.
What you got to say about the Nunez baseball team right now?
Well, I got to tell you, man, they played a very I mean, out of the 3 games so far, we got one more tomorrow. That's going to be 6 p.m. right here on the Sports Broadcasting Network over at Curtis Rooney. 2 out of they lost all 3, but 2 out of the 3 games, they played outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
Nunez played outstanding and could have won. And it eventually they're going to get there. The good thing I've seen from Nunez, the pitching has been unbelievable. The pitching has been unbelievable, especially on Sunday. Some great performances from their starters and their bullpen. They just got to score runs. They just got to score runs at the right time. That's when they got to get it, and that's the only way they'll get over. But Delgado showing that they're good, and they're really good this year. They're really, really good. They find ways to win. They found a way to win yesterday. It was a 1-1 game. The first baseman, Collins Lorraine, tried to make a double play to force extra innings, and he just missed the second baseman, and that's where the run and run comes in. So, but for Nunez, they're really a good program that's continuing to compete and winning at all costs. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Hopefully they can avoid the 4-game sweep. And, but we'll see. But I think Coach Glenn Powell and his staff has done wonders with the program. But you got to give them a lot of credit for them competing. And I think even a lot of Delgado folks said after the games, they was like, man, 2 out of the 3 games being really good. It was like, Nunez ain't no pushover no more. We gotta earn wins against these people. These people come to play, and they can beat us. So it's just the fact that they have overcame a lot from them being a club baseball team long time ago to them being a premier NJCAA program that's trying to win the conference, which is going to be tough. But at the same time, I think they have a chance to do some big things, and we'll see what happens down the line. We'll see what happens tomorrow. But sooner or later, we'll have Glenn Powell joining us on the show soon. Even Joe Sherman as well. I mean, like I said, it's a tough league. It's a real tough league.
Most definitely. Got some more news for you on these school closing. So it's not set in stone yet. They will vote on this on April 5th. April 5th is the voting date. So we'll see what happens. Okay. But the way it looks like it's gonna happen.
Yeah, we'll see. It's to be honest, I hope it don't happen.
Me too.
I hope it don't happen. I hope it could just prolong it for another year, and then they could just go ahead and make the moves. It's because I think we know some friends that go that teach at the school and being administrators and stuff.
Yes.
We don't want them to lose their jobs. We don't want them to just this is a dire situation, right? And especially what they're building.
Yeah, most definitely. So before we go, this Thursday we will have a sit-down interview with the head coach of the Archbishop Shaw wrestling team, Coach Brandon Serensey. We're going to have this interview, and we're going to air it, put it out on YouTube on Friday. So we're going to have to sit down with him on Thursday, and we put it on YouTube on Friday, and we'll put it all throughout the social medias. Hopefully, my good friend will make it.
So it's gonna be an interview. Oh, we're going over there and do the interview.
Yeah, we're going to Shaw.
Okay, yes. Going to Shaw. Do the interview.
Going to Shaw 7 o'clock at night.
7 o'clock at night. Okay.
Yeah,
that's a possibility. We'll see what happens with that. Go ahead.
Gotcha. Any last words that you would like to say right quick?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I want to say this to everybody out there who's been sending me a lot of things and everything. Thursday night, my wife passed away. LaShondra Carson Jones. She was 37. She had to deal with a lot with multiple sclerosis and everything else. Funeral plans are up in the air right now. I'll find out sooner or later. But I want to thank, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank everybody, all my friends, all the coaches, everybody who's been texting, messaging, calling, everything. Even from people from Crescent City Sports, Ken Trahan, from Delgado's coach Joe Sherman, Tyler Sherman, even Nunez, who came to me, and a lot of Nunez fans just gave me a lot of sympathy, hugs, all that good stuff. I want to thank y'all so much from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate it. Continue to pray for me. Continue to pray for my family. Continue to pray for my daughter. Continue to pray for us, the Jones and Carson family, that we will get through this and we will get through this together. So I really, really appreciate this very, very much. And for you, thank you so much, Jared. Appreciate it. I had to keep busy. That's why I'm still doing the show, doing what I love to do. You know what I'm saying? That's what we love. That's what we gonna keep doing. You know. Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah. So, but we're gonna continue to run with it, and that's what we do. My friend, I know you got some big plans coming up yourself. Besides the somberness, we're gonna keep it a little bit positive. You got a big trip coming up, because I was thinking like, wait a minute, the following weekend maybe with what I got to do, but I forgot WrestleMania is the first weekend in April. When do you catch the plane, my friend?
Friday.
Friday. Okay, so you'll be out there until
I
what?
come back Monday.
Okay, you come back Monday, so you're not gonna go. You're not gonna do.
I'm
Raw.
not doing everything I usually do. No, not this time. Next year in Philly, I'll do it. But this year, I'm just doing the WrestleMania, just the WrestleMania event. That's it.
Okay, so you're gonna do your WrestleMania All Access.
No,
Your
no, just WrestleMania.
Oh wow! So you're not. Oh, I forgot. Oh yeah, Cali.
No, that ain't why.
Woo!
Nothing to do
No,
with Catholic. No, it's not
and
to my religion. I just said this year I'm gonna just tone it down. This year, just save a little bit more money. Just do WrestleMania.
oh,
That's it. Now next year in Philly, yeah, I'm back at it. I'm doing everything I always do. All
mm,
the all the WrestleCons and the other wrestling shows like Ring of Honor and GCW. Yeah, I'm gonna do all that next year. But this year,
gonna tone it down. I got you.
yeah,
Got you.
there we go.
Humble
There we
yourself.
go.
Gonna
Yeah.
tone it down. Not next year. Maybe I'll do Philly. I got to see how my money and timetable is. Hopefully,
Mm-hmm.
we'll see what we can do. I might can't do everything you're doing, but
I understand.
I would definitely want to do the ROH stuff and what AEW and them needs doing. This is what Tony Khan needs to do. I'm gonna say this right quick before we close. Uh, the Forbidden Door event that they do in June, they need to put that for WrestleMania weekend instead of Supercard of Honor,
He
because
he he won't, because Supercard of Honor always been WrestleMania weekend. He won't. He just started letting AEW wrestlers go to WrestleCon.
wow, because you have to think. Remember a couple years ago when they did Supercard, they did that in Madison Square, and they had ROH and New
New Japan,
Japan.
correct.
So that's what I'm saying. I mean, I think you keep Supercard and include New Japan in it as well. But I like the Forbidden Door thing. I know Supercard, but make that the new tradition, because to me, Forbidden Door is too big of an event to not be on WrestleMania weekend. That was the biggest thing I learned about Forbidden Door when seeing that roster and card. It's like, why that could be Super Card or Honor like they did a couple years ago, because that was amazing what they did in Madison Square. So why can they go ahead and switch that up? Like, I know Super Card, but sometimes you got to go with some new tradition up in there that can work. And I think it's great that Tony Khan finally has kind of merged with a couple other entities to make it bigger.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think it's going to be a fun WrestleMania weekend. I'm looking forward to the cards and everything, man. There's gonna be some good stuff. Maybe we'll have some new champions over the weekend. All the storylines will be broken up. You know what I'm saying? So we'll have new storylines after. Does Bianca keep the title?
I wanted to, but I don't think so.
Think
I
it's
think Oscar never had her moment of shine at WrestleMania. But think about it, she lost to Charlotte, she lost to Rhea Ripley. Oscar never had her time to shine. I think Oscar gets her time to shine, which she deserves. She deserves.
Agreed.
I don't want to see Bianca lose, but it has to happen eventually.
Well, you need to listen to Bianca Belair on Jamel Hill's Unbothered. She's a guest this week.
Okay.
Yeah,
Will do.
yeah,
Will do.
absolutely. But it should
All
be a
right.
great weekend, man. You going and enjoy LA. Tell Tanaloids and Tony and everybody I said what's up. I'm like this. I'm gonna try and do Philly next year, hopefully. So
Without a doubt, my man.
yes, sir.
Everybody that tuned in, we thank y'all for joining us. Once again, subscribe to our YouTube pages. I am JB, your sports guy. That's the YouTube page. And also, my main man, his is the real VK Jones.
Yes, sir.
That's his YouTube page. Let's get those subscriptions up. Help us out.
Yes,
We
sir.
appreciate it, but definitely appreciate y'all for tuning in. Like I said, Friday we will air the interview with the head coach of the Archbishop Shaw. Ow, I bit my lip. I'm good though. I'm good. The Archbishop Shaw wrestling team coach Brandon Servancy. We will air that on Friday. But my good friend VK Jones, I'm JB, your sports guy. Y'all take care.
Tune in tomorrow. Delgado Nunez, 6 p.m. TSBN.
There y'all go. Later.